Dear Chosen One, something beyond your wildest imagination is unfolding. A wealthy and influential stranger has set their eyes on you, and they are about to change your life forever. You may have thought you were walking an unseen path, misunderstood, overlooked, unnoticed by the world. But while others were silent, someone was watching. They saw your actions, they felt your energy, they observed your unwavering resilience. And something about you, something divine, sparked a sequence of events that can no longer be stopped. This isn't coincidence. This isn't luck. This is divine orchestration. What if I told you that your silent sacrifices have been echoing in spiritual places, that your consistent faithfulness, even when no one applauded, has attracted a force so powerful it's about to reposition your entire life? Yes, someone with the means, the vision, and the divine prompting is preparing to relocate you into the environment your soul was always meant to thrive in. And by the time you reach the end of this message, you'll understand exactly why this is happening, what triggered it, and how you must prepare for the monumental shift ahead. So I need you to stay with me, because every word you're about to hear has been divinely timed for this very moment in your life. This is not just a message, it's a confirmation. Before we go any further, I want to say from the deepest place in my heart, thank you to those of you who have supported this channel through Super Thanks. Your generosity makes it possible to continue sharing revelations and truth for chosen ones around the world. And whether you've given or not, please know this: you are seen, appreciated, and deeply loved just for being here. Your presence is a gift. If your spirit is already stirring and you feel like this word is for you, go ahead and comment 777 below. That number represents spiritual alignment, divine completion, and heavenly perfection. Exactly what is unfolding in your life right now. Now, let's go deeper, because your breakthrough has already begun, and your relocation is closer than you think. God's chosen ones, a wealthy stranger is about to relocate you because of what you did. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why rooms feel different when you enter them? Why conversations shift when you speak? It may not be obvious to you, but the very energy you carry reshapes the environment around you. Even in silence, your light whispers messages of purpose, and those who are attuned, yes, even powerful strangers, can sense it. You were never meant to go unnoticed. Your words, your compassion, your quiet strength, these are not ordinary traits. They are signs of divine favor, and someone with great influence has taken notice. But why now? Why you? Could it be that while you were simply being yourself, kind, honest, unwavering, you were planting seeds in the hearts of others that are now bearing fruit? Perhaps your decision to forgive instead of retaliate, your choice to share wisdom instead of seek validation, became the very reason your relocation is now unfolding. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 22:1, "A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold." And you, chosen one, have built a name that carries the fragrance of righteousness, even when no one seemed to be watching. This world often overlooks those who walk with quiet integrity, but there are eyes, both divine and earthly, always observing. Sometimes it is in your loneliest moments when you feel displaced or invisible that heaven is aligning a shift. Have you ever felt that deep sense of misplacement, as if you were too expansive for your current environment? That's not your imagination. Many chosen ones dwell in places where their frequency doesn't resonate. You were never meant to blend in. Like Joseph, who was sold into slavery but eventually elevated to lead Egypt, your surroundings are only temporary. Joseph didn't understand the purpose of his suffering at first, but in Genesis 50:20, we hear his powerful reflection. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Now imagine someone wealthy, financially secure yet spiritually searching, crossing paths with your essence. They don't see you the way the world does. They see potential, depth, and divine calling. And they know one truth: you don't belong where you are. They're not just admiring you, they're preparing to move you. Not out of charity, but out of recognition. They're investing in what is rare: your spirit, your steadfastness, your unwavering heart. This isn't just a relocation, it's a divine repositioning. But pause and ask yourself, what did you do to trigger this divine shift? Was it when you comforted a stranger without expecting a thank you? Was it that one night you cried out to God in secret, asking for purpose instead of possessions? Or perhaps it was a silent decision you made in your heart that no one knew about, but heaven heard. In Matthew 6:4, Jesus says, "Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." Could this be a reward unfolding? Think about Vera Wang, who began as a figure skater and editor before pivoting careers in her 40s to become one of the world's most iconic fashion designers. She was in the wrong lane for decades, until the right moment and the right recognition led to her true placement. Or consider Tyler Perry, who spent years homeless, producing plays no one came to watch. But he stayed faithful, authentic, resilient. Eventually, someone believed in him, and his relocation wasn't just geographic. It was spiritual, financial, and cultural. Their stories mirror yours: misunderstood, misjudged, but finally seen by someone whose recognition changed everything. Don't underestimate the power of small acts. Chosen ones are rarely loud about their goodness, but their consistency becomes undeniable. Maybe you gave someone advice that stopped them from giving up. Maybe your presence alone gave someone hope. These are not small things in heaven's eyes. As Galatians 6:9 reminds us, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." And perhaps, dear chosen one, your harvest is nearer than you think. Consider the story of Sojourner Truth, an African-American woman born into slavery, who through her unwavering faith and powerful voice became a beacon of justice and equality. She was relocated from bondage to national influence not by accident, but by divine orchestration. Her power wasn't in riches, it was in righteousness. Like her, your life carries a frequency that commands movement of people, of hearts, and now of location. You must also understand this. The wealthy stranger who is about to enter your story may not even realize they're being used by God. But that's how the divine often works, through people, vessels, messengers. This is what happened with Cyrus, king of Persia, in Isaiah 45:1, where God says, "I will go before you and will level the mountains. I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places." Cyrus wasn't part of the covenant, but God used him to set his chosen people free. Could it be that your Cyrus is on the way, and now you stand at a spiritual threshold, a moment where everything might change, not because you chased it, but because your authenticity summoned it? There is no need to beg, to hustle, to force. What's yours is being drawn to you by the gravity of your soul. The relocation won't just be physical, it will reposition your influence, your voice, your purpose. Think of Fred Rogers, better known as Mr. Rogers. He was a quiet, gentle man who created a television program that touched generations. At the time, many overlooked his soft approach, but behind the scenes, his authenticity caught the attention of influential people who supported his vision. He was moved into homes across America, not by marketing, but by moral clarity. You too, chosen one, are about to be placed where your light can reach further. The world may call it luck, but you know better. This is divine orchestration. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. You've been called, chosen, tested, and proven, and now you are being placed. So don't question your worth when the doors begin to open. Don't shrink when the offer arrives. Don't hesitate when someone offers you a new life. They see what God has seen in you all along. You've already done the work. The stranger is simply the delivery system for your next assignment. Chosen one, are you ready to step into the place where your gifts will be seen, your spirit will be nourished, and your destiny will finally unfold? Because whether you realize it or not, your relocation is not a reward. It's a release into who you were always meant to be. Chosen one, have you ever found yourself in a situation that felt far too specific to be a coincidence? As if something or someone was observing your every response, quietly watching how you handle pressure, rejection, or even success. Could it be that those difficult interactions and quiet battles were never random, but divine tests placed in your path to reveal your true nature? What if your responses in those hidden moments were shaping your destiny in ways you couldn't yet see? Sometimes life feels like a puzzle with too many missing pieces. You try to fit into places that feel wrong, conversations that don't feed your soul, environments that drain rather than nourish you. And all the while, you wonder, why do I feel so out of place? The truth is, dear chosen one, you were never meant to belong where you were planted. Like Moses, who grew up in Pharaoh's palace yet always felt different, you too have carried a calling that didn't match your surroundings. In Exodus 2:11-12, we see Moses observing the suffering of his people. Something stirred in him because his soul knew he was meant for more. And now, something profound is shifting. Suddenly, the obstacles that held you back seem to crumble. The doors that once felt sealed shut are swinging open. Isn't it interesting how quickly things can align when it's God's timing? The confusion fades, the resistance dissolves, and the impossible begins to unfold. But is it really sudden, or has it simply finally caught up to the faithfulness you've been sowing in silence all along? Look back, chosen one. Remember the nights you prayed for direction, the times you forgave when it would have been easier to retaliate, the moments you acted in faith with no reward in sight. All of it mattered. All of it was recorded, not just in heaven, but in the hearts of those around you. Your patience, your wisdom, your spiritual depth has not gone unnoticed. James 1:12 assures us, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." But here's the twist you didn't see coming. While you were being tested, someone was watching. Not just anyone, but someone with power, resources, and access. A wealthy stranger who, without even fully understanding why, has felt an inexplicable pull toward you. They can't quite articulate it. It's not based on status, appearance, or even ambition. It's spiritual. Your energy, your truth, your story, it has spoken to something deep within them. Could it be that God has stirred their heart as a vessel to bless you? Think about it. How often does someone help another without needing a reason? Yet it happens more often than we realize when divine orchestration is at play. Consider the story of Jim Carrey, the actor who once lived out of his car while chasing his dream. During those rough times, a wealthy benefactor offered him access to an acting studio for free because they saw something in him, something rare. That one act became a stepping stone to a destiny that would later influence millions. Your moment, chosen one, may not be about fame, but it is about being seen, elevated, and empowered by someone who recognizes what you carry. But why now? Why is this breakthrough unfolding at this precise moment in your life? Perhaps you finally stopped hiding your light. Perhaps you've learned the lessons of humility, faith, and obedience. Or maybe, just maybe, you've reached the level of spiritual maturity required to steward what's about to be placed in your hands. You're not the same person you were 5 years ago, or even 1 year ago. You've been refined in the fire, and now As 1 Peter 5:10 declares, "The God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast." This is not about luck. This is legacy. And someone influential has been chosen to help position you where your light can expand further. You didn't ask for this, but your spirit demanded it. This stranger might think they're simply offering an opportunity, but in truth, they are fulfilling a divine assignment. Just like King Artaxerxes in Nehemiah 2, who granted Nehemiah permission and provision to rebuild Jerusalem, your king has been prepared for such a time as this. And let's be honest, there were moments you wanted to give up. Times when the pressure felt unbearable and the silence from heaven was deafening. But something in you, something divine, kept you going. That resilience is what separates you. You didn't just endure, you grew. You didn't just survive, you transformed. And now the world is beginning to catch up to the truth heaven has known all along. You are chosen. Take inspiration from the journey of Misty Copeland, the first African-American female principal dancer at the American Ballet Theatre. She was told she didn't fit the mold. She was too late, too different, too unlikely. But her discipline, grace, and undeniable gift caught the attention of key figures who advocated for her, funded her training, and changed her trajectory forever. Like Misty, your uniqueness is not a limitation. It is the reason you are being elevated. So, what happens next? Will you shrink from the blessing, unsure if you deserve it? Or will you rise in quiet confidence, knowing that this moment has been earned through years of unseen faithfulness? The relocation you're about to experience isn't just about geography, it's about alignment. You are being moved into a space that matches your spiritual frequency, your calling, and your next level of impact. Chosen one, listen carefully. The one who is being stirred to help you may think it's their idea, but it's God's plan. Proverbs 21:1 tells us, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a watercourse, wherever he pleases." This means God can influence anyone, regardless of status, to come to your aid. And that is exactly what's happening now. So prepare your heart, reflect on what you've endured, stand tall in the knowledge that the struggle had purpose. Your journey was not in vain. Someone has been moved by your light, someone with the power to change your circumstances. And soon, very soon, the environment around you will begin to reflect who you really are. Chosen one, have you ever paused and truly asked yourself, why has your journey looked nothing like the paths of those around you? Why have your gifts gone unrecognized, your heart misunderstood, your presence overlooked? Could it be that what you once thought was rejection was actually divine protection? That the silence surrounding your life wasn't emptiness, but a holy hush designed to conceal you until the right hour? You see, what the world calls delay, God often calls preparation. And your story has been guided by an unseen hand since the very beginning. Have you ever wondered why certain opportunities passed you by, even when you were qualified? Why connections fell through, relationships ended, or doors refused to open no matter how hard you knocked? It wasn't because you weren't enough. It was because you were too rare to be mishandled. Like David tending sheep while his brothers stood in front of the prophet Samuel, you were hidden. Not because you lacked greatness, but because you were being preserved for a moment that required your exact anointing. In 1 Samuel 16:7, God reminds us, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." There are chosen ones who live decades feeling like outsiders. You've probably felt this more than once. The deep ache of knowing you're capable of more, born for more, yet the world seems blind to what you carry. But that's not because you're forgotten. It's because the divine doesn't launch greatness prematurely. If your light had been revealed too soon, it would have attracted the wrong attention, and possibly placed your destiny in dangerous hands. The hiding place was holy ground, even if it felt lonely. Isaiah 49:2 speaks of this. He made my mouth like a sharpened sword. In the shadow of his hand, he hid me. He made me into a polished arrow and concealed me in his quiver. And now, chosen one, something is shifting in the spirit. Can you feel it? The stillness that once defined your life is being replaced with divine movement. The silence is giving way to clarity. That wealthy stranger, the one who has been observing you from afar, didn't stumble upon you by chance. They were drawn to your essence, magnetized by something they couldn't articulate. That's how divine alignment works. God stirs hearts, orchestrates meetings, and awakens awareness in people who carry the keys to your next chapter. They may not know why they're compelled to bless you, to relocate you, to support your mission, but heaven knows. Think about this. Have you ever felt like you were glowing with purpose inside, yet invisible to everyone around you? That ache, that quiet desperation, it wasn't a sign that you were forgotten. It was a confirmation that you were chosen to be revealed only in the fullness of time. Consider the story of Viola Davis. For years she was cast in background roles, overlooked, underappreciated, but she didn't stop refining her gift. She stayed ready. And when her moment came, the world finally saw what had been hidden all along, a powerhouse of truth and talent. Like you, Viola wasn't ignored by accident. She was preserved for a platform that matched her purpose. There's something sacred about divine timing. It cannot be rushed, manipulated, or predicted, yet when it arrives, everything changes swiftly. Could it be that your moment is unfolding right now? Could the stirring you feel in your spirit, the sense that something is coming, be heaven whispering, "It's time"? The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3:1, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." Your hidden season was real, but so is the season of revealing, and it has arrived. Let's talk about divine concealment a bit more. Think about Jesus himself. Before his public ministry began, he lived over 30 years in quiet preparation. He didn't seek validation. He didn't announce his arrival early. He waited until heaven said, "Now." You too have been waiting not for approval, but for alignment. And now, chosen one, alignment is here. You have been polished in private so you can be launched in power. Remember the story of Brandon Stanton, the creator of Humans of New York. He wasn't famous. He was just a man with a camera, walking the streets and listening to strangers, but he honored his calling, even when it was small. Eventually, his work caught the attention of influential people. He was given platforms he never imagined, and now his voice has impacted millions. Just like Brandon, you've been doing the work behind the scenes. And now, someone of great influence sees you. Not because you shouted for attention, but because your quiet excellence echoed into the right heart. You might ask, but why now? Why would this wealthy stranger at this specific moment in time feel pulled toward your life? Because you are no longer hidden. Your soul has been signaling readiness. You've passed the spiritual checkpoints. The divine covering is lifting, not for fame, but for fulfillment. And the person being moved to act on your behalf is responding to a heavenly nudge that cannot be ignored. Chosen one, this is not about luck or timing. It's about the divine orchestration of everything that once felt like delay. What if the pain of being unseen was simply the pressure of being preserved? What if all the times you felt invisible were sacred moments of incubation, not abandonment? Psalm 27:5 gives us insight. For in the day of trouble, he will keep me safe in his dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of his sacred tent and set me high upon a rock. Think also of Ava DuVernay. For years, she worked behind the camera, creating quietly and waiting patiently. Then one project, the right one, catapulted her into visibility. She often speaks about how her hidden season was crucial in preparing her for the responsibility that came later. Like Ava, you haven't just been waiting, you've been growing, and the time for you to emerge is now. So here's the question you must answer within yourself. Are you ready to be seen? Are you prepared for the doors that are opening, for the favor that's flowing, for the relocation that's coming? Because the moment you've been waiting for, sometimes doubting would ever arrive, is already in motion. Someone with the resources to shift your reality has already sensed your presence, their curiosity, their compassion, their calling. It's been activated by your energy. Chosen one, don't shrink back now. Don't dismiss the signs. You are not being randomly noticed. You are being divinely revealed. And just like Esther, who was concealed until the moment her voice was needed to save a nation, you're stepping into the scene at exactly the right time. Esther 4:14 reminds us, and who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. You were hidden because you're holy. You were delayed because you're destined. And now you are about to be placed exactly where your light can reach the furthest corners of your calling. Chosen one, do you remember that moment when you acted from the purest place in your heart, expecting nothing in return? Perhaps it was a kind gesture no one seemed to notice, or a moment of strength you displayed when the weight of the world was pressing on your shoulders. What if I told you that someone powerful did notice, that in that very instant something in the atmosphere shifted? The wealthy stranger who has now set their sights on you, and you may have seen you at your most unguarded, most authentic, and it changed everything. Have you ever wondered what made them pause? Why, in a world overflowing with noise and performance, it was you who drew their attention. It wasn't luck. It wasn't manipulation. It was your essence. Maybe they overheard you encouraging someone when no one else did. Maybe they saw you stand in truth when it cost you everything. Or maybe they felt the quiet fire in you, a dignified grace the world no longer knows how to honor. Proverbs 31:25 captures this power well. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. You've been wearing dignity like armor, and someone noticed. Understand this: people with true power, the kind that shifts systems and opens impossible doors, are not impressed by titles or glitter. They are seekers of depth. They're looking for what money cannot buy. Wisdom earned through suffering, character shaped by the fire, and authenticity that no stage can produce. When they find someone like you, they don't see limitation. They see divine alignment. You carry a frequency, chosen one, that doesn't just make you visible, it makes you unforgettable. Think about the millions who chase power and influence every day. They network, flatter, hustle, and perform. Yet this person didn't choose any of them. They chose you. Why? Because you didn't chase. You didn't clamor for validation. You didn't dilute your light to fit into places that never honored your worth. Instead, your energy quietly called out to the right heart, and it responded. 1 Peter 3:4 speaks to this hidden beauty. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. Think of Keanu Reeves, one of the most revered yet humble actors in the world. Despite global fame, he lives modestly, gives generously, and treats everyone, from janitors to directors, with respect. His genuine energy, not his fame, is what has opened continuous doors and earned loyalty from people across every level of society. Like you, Keanu never begged for attention. He simply lived with quiet dignity, and it was that integrity that drew the right people to him. This is why you must never underestimate your presence. Every word, every action, every quiet moment of grace has the potential to alter your future. What if the moment that changed everything for you already happened and the ripple effect is still unfolding? This is why chosen ones are called to walk in alignment at all times. You never know when heaven has aligned a powerful observer to witness your light. You never know when that one interaction will open doors you didn't even know existed. And here's the truth few talk about. This wealthy stranger didn't just admire you, they felt called to you. They may not have had the words, but their spirit recognized yours. Something inside them whispered, help them, support them, move them. Not because of pity, but because they understand their own purpose is tied to helping you step into yours. Like Boaz noticing Ruth in the fields, humble, hard-working, yet radiant in quiet strength. Your presence activated someone's assignment. Ruth 2:10-11 reflects this moment. Boaz replied, I've been told all about what you have done, how you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with a people you did not know before. He didn't need a reason, he felt her purpose. But why you? What is it about your energy that demands elevation? Maybe it's your refusal to bend in a world of compromise. Maybe it's your willingness to stay kind even when wounded. Or perhaps it's your consistent truth-telling in a world addicted to illusions. You've done something rare, something costly, and now the world is beginning to catch up. Remember Brandon Sanderson, the fantasy author who was once told his style wouldn't sell. His ideas were too strange. He kept writing anyway, stayed true to his vision. Eventually, the right person believed in him. He didn't go viral overnight, but the steady quality of his work reached the right hands. Now, he's one of the most successful authors in the world. Not because he followed the crowd, but because he didn't. Just like you, chosen one. There's something else you must understand. This divine connection, this wealthy stranger, is not about charity. It's about expansion. They are being prompted to relocate you, not just for your comfort, but for your calling. Your gifts have outgrown your current space. Your voice is too important to remain tucked away. Someone with influence feels the urgency to act because your presence is meant to reach more people. You are not a project. They see you as a purpose. This principle is echoed in Matthew 5:14-15. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. You were never meant to stay hidden. The moment has come for your elevation, not to shine for ego, but to serve with impact. And what about that wealthy stranger? Why do they care so deeply? Because they are spiritually sensitive enough to know that when someone like you shows up, it's not random. People like you don't just appear in their lives, they are sent. And with that awareness comes responsibility. They know they're being used as a vessel, and they're answering the call with obedience. Let's not forget the story of Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks. He grew up poor, unnoticed and dismissed by many. But one day, someone believed in him. An investor saw more than just business ideas. They saw potential in his character. That belief set off a chain reaction that changed the face of an industry. Your journey may be similar, overlooked by many, but seen by the right one. So here's what you must do now. Keep walking in integrity. Don't change to fit anyone's expectations. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. You've already attracted what you need by being who you truly are. And now, chosen one, you are being lifted, not for applause, but for purpose. Psalm 75, 6-7 says it clearly. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is the judge. He putteth down one, and setteth up another. It is God who elevates, and he is doing it through someone who sees what he sees in you. You didn't ask for this blessing, but your spirit called for it. You didn't demand attention, but your authenticity made you impossible to ignore. And now, someone with access, power, and purpose is responding. Chosen one, have you ever encountered someone who entered your life without warning and changed everything, simply because they believed in you? Maybe it was a moment so unexpected, so unearned, that you couldn't help but wonder, why me? Could it be that what felt like coincidence was actually divine coordination? What if you're standing in one of those sacred transitions right now, where a door opens, not because you forced it, but because heaven moved someone to turn the handle for you? One day, you're navigating uncertainty, questioning your path, juggling burdens no one sees. The next, things begin to shift, not slowly, but suddenly. Doors you never even knocked on begin to open. People you didn't reach out to begin to reach for you, and you're left in awe, realizing that this is not just chance. This is divine orchestration. Isaiah 22:22 declares, "I will place on his shoulder the key to the house of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open." You are walking into one of those divine openings right now. And the most remarkable part, you didn't chase it. You weren't out there looking for a sponsor, begging for attention, or manipulating your way into circles of influence. You were simply walking in faith, doing what you were called to do, even when it felt like no one noticed. But someone did. Someone with access, influence, and authority was watching. They didn't see your struggle as a weakness. They saw it as strength under pressure. And that's what moved them. What if the very thing you thought disqualified you was the reason they were drawn to you in the first place? This is how divine intervention works. God doesn't need you to impress anyone. He just needs you to stay aligned. When you remain faithful in obscurity, He brings the right people into your life at the right time. People who feel spiritually compelled to bless you, not because you asked, but because your light summoned them. Luke 6:38 speaks to this truth. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. And chosen one, that overflow is beginning. You've spent much of your life thinking you had to fight for everything. You've had to work harder, push further, and endure longer than most. While others seem to advance easily, you often felt left behind. But here's what was really happening. You were being prepared, not for a handout, but for a divine encounter. Many chosen ones live with the misunderstanding that favor is earned through performance. But divine favor isn't transactional, it's transformational. It shows up when you least expect it, and often when you feel least worthy. Think about the story of Taraji P. Henson. She moved to Los Angeles as a single mother with $700 and a dream. She was told she'd never make it, but she remained faithful to her craft, authentic in her spirit. And then, out of nowhere, doors began to open. People began to believe in her. She didn't have to beg. She just had to be. Like you, her breakthrough came not through striving, but through divine timing and undeniable energy. So, what is happening to you now? Why are doors suddenly opening? Why is someone with the ability to elevate your life stepping in right now? Because your heart posture invited divine favor. While you thought your efforts were going unnoticed, they were being catalogued in heaven. While you stayed humble, your spirit was radiating power, and someone, guided by something they can't fully explain, is responding. Consider this. What if your biggest blessings have never been about your effort alone? What if they're the result of God using others to honor what you've endured? In Deuteronomy 28:2, God says, "All these blessings will come on you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God." And chosen one, you've been obeying, even in the wilderness, even when it was hard, even when it hurt. There are people right now still waiting for a breakthrough, feeling like nothing is moving, and your story, your sudden shift, could be the testimony they need to hold on a little longer. Do you remember when you needed that kind of hope? When you wished someone would say, "It's coming, don't give up." You have the power to be that voice now. Your story could be someone else's survival guide. Think about how Tyler Perry's first major break came when one investor finally believed in his vision, even after his early plays failed, even when no one showed up. That one yes changed everything, and not just for him, for millions who've since been inspired by his work. Could it be that your yes is being spoken right now by someone behind closed doors on your behalf? Chosen one, do not doubt the timing. The shift didn't come early because you weren't ready, and it didn't come late. It came when everything inside you had been properly aligned. You are no longer the person who needed external validation. You are the one who attracts favor by the very way you carry yourself. That's why this stranger with influence is stepping forward now, not to complete you, but to amplify what already exists within you. Let's also remember the story of Les Brown. For years he was labeled educable, mentally retarded, and dismissed. But one teacher believed in him. One voice saw his potential. That single act of belief ignited a fire that made Les Brown one of the most powerful motivational speakers of our generation. Your life may mirror this pattern, a long stretch of silence interrupted by one powerful, affirming moment that shifts your direction forever. And here's the most beautiful truth. This blessing isn't just about you. God is elevating you so that others can be blessed through you. Someone is investing in your mission, your calling, your voice, not because of what they expect to gain, but because they recognize that what you carry is too important to stay buried. 2 Corinthians 9:8 affirms, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times you will abound in every good work." So ask yourself this: are you ready to receive what you didn't see coming? Can you walk through doors you didn't knock on with humility and boldness? Can you be faithful in the blessing the same way you were faithful in the struggle? Because right now, chosen one, heaven is rewarding your consistency. The person who stepped into your life wasn't just led by emotion, they were led by divine instruction. You are stepping into a season where things will begin to unfold without force, without striving. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. Chosen one, now that the shift is unfolding, now that the doors are opening and divine favor is surrounding you, the question is no longer if it will happen, it's how you will carry it. Will you be ready to steward what is being placed in your hands? The worst thing you could do now is enter this new season unprepared, unaware, or unchanged. You didn't endure everything you've gone through just to step into your promise passively. No, this elevation requires readiness of the soul, sharpening of the mind, and alignment of your spirit. Are you preparing, or are you still doubting? Let's begin here. Strengthen your mindset. You're about to walk into a world that operates on a higher level, a realm where your influence expands, your voice echoes louder, and your presence attracts greater attention. Are you mentally grounded enough to handle it? Have you laid aside small thinking and survival mode habits? In Romans 12:2, Paul urges us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This renewal is your preparation. Without it, the blessing can become overwhelming instead of empowering. Think of Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast. She didn't just train her body, she trained her mind. She learned how to carry global attention, how to make decisions rooted in self-worth, and how to protect her peace in the midst of pressure. Like you, she stepped into new realms, but only because she prepared mentally for the weight of the crown. Chosen one, you must do the same. Your next level isn't just about opportunity, it's about capacity. Second, stay humble but confident. This moment is not a product of chance. This shift isn't luck, it's legacy. It's unfolding because of who you are, the choices you made in silence, the character you built when no one applauded. You've earned this, not by manipulation, but by divine design. Micah 6:8 reminds us of the posture God blesses: to act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Yes, Walk in humility, but do not downplay your worth. Own your value without arrogance. Receive what's coming with quiet strength, not insecurity. Consider Frederick Douglass, who rose from slavery to become one of the most influential voices of justice and liberation. He didn't hide from his greatness, nor did he boast in pride. He stood with grace and truth, knowing that his story wasn't just about him, it was about what he was called to carry. You too have a mission that goes beyond you. Your elevation is not for ego, it's for impact. Third, prepare for new responsibilities. With every new level comes new weight. New influence means new stewardship. You're not just being elevated to receive blessings, you're being positioned to become a blessing. Are you ready to manage more? To lead with integrity? To be trusted with greater platforms? Luke 12:48 gives a sobering reminder. To whom much is given, much will be required. This is not the time to coast. This is the time to rise. Think of Malala Yousafzai. After surviving a brutal attack for standing up for girls' education, she was thrust into global attention, but she didn't shrink. She rose with poise, embraced her new responsibilities, and used her voice to shift nations. Your rise may not look like hers, but your responsibility is just as sacred. You are being entrusted with influence. Prepare accordingly. Fourth, let go of limiting beliefs. You cannot walk into this next chapter still chained to doubts about your worth. This is not the time to ask, why me? This is the time to say, why not me? You were never unqualified, only underestimated. You were never unworthy, only unseen. But heaven saw you. God prepared you. And now everything is aligning to match what he always knew about you. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "For we are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Your path was prepared before you even knew you were chosen. Take inspiration from Ava DuVernay once again. Before directing major films, she started as a publicist. Many told her she was too late to enter Hollywood as a director, but she refused to let that belief define her. She shattered expectations by embracing her own timing, her own rhythm. She believed in the vision inside her. And now the world believes in her too. What if the only thing standing between you and your next level is the voice in your own head? So now, chosen one, the question is not, is it coming? It's, will you be ready when it does? This next level isn't about passive reception, it's about active participation. God is not just blessing you, he is promoting you. And with promotion comes pressure, visibility, and expectation. Are you cultivating the inner strength required to sustain your outer success? This is your moment to prepare like never before. The calling on your life demands it. The stranger who is stepping in to bless you, financially, strategically, or spiritually, is responding to the frequency of your destiny. But your ability to sustain what is given will come down to how you've prepared behind the scenes. The miracles ahead are real, but they require maturity to carry. Philippians 1:6 offers this promise, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. God started this journey in you. He didn't bring you this far to leave you unready, but you must rise to meet the moment. Chosen one, have you ever reached a point where it felt like no matter how hard you prayed, how persistently you worked, or how faithfully you believed, nothing was moving? Like your destiny was stuck in neutral, despite everything in your soul telling you that something greater was coming? Could it be that your breakthrough wasn't denied? It was simply being refined. What if the silence was not a sign of God's absence, but a signal that the divine clock was still counting down to the perfect moment? You see, divine timing doesn't operate by human logic. We want things fast, immediate, visible, but God moves differently. He arranges destinies the way a master composer arranges music. each note placed with intention, each silence filled with meaning. As Habakkuk 2:3 reminds us, "For the vision is yet for the appointed time, it hastens toward the goal, and it will not fail. Though it tarries, wait for it will certainly come, it will not delay." What felt like delay in your life, chosen one, was actually divine choreography. You may have looked around and wondered, why are others advancing while I remain still? You may have even questioned if you missed something, if you were somehow disqualified. But let this truth anchor you. Your blessing was not late. It was simply not yet visible. The years of struggle, the disappointments, the long nights and silent prayers, they were not wasted. They were sacred groundwork. That wealthy stranger stepping into your life now? They are not a random encounter. They are part of a divine strategy that has been unfolding behind the curtain for years. Remember Joseph, sold into slavery by his brothers, falsely imprisoned, forgotten by those he helped. Yet in Genesis 41:14, we read that Pharaoh sent for him and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. In a moment, after years of waiting, Joseph was elevated to power, not because he forced it, but because the appointed time had come. Just like you, he had to endure the quiet season so that when the breakthrough arrived, he was ready. Are you recognizing that your own Pharaoh moment may be unfolding right now? Chosen ones must learn the sacred art of patience, not the passive kind, but the active kind, the kind that waits with expectation, the kind that doesn't crumble under pressure, but watches for the signs. And yes, the signs are always there if your spirit is alert. Have you noticed certain people drifting away, relationships ending without explanation? That is not coincidence. It is divine separation. You are being pulled from the familiar to make room for the necessary. As John 15:2 reminds us, "He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, so that it will be even more fruitful." This cutting away is part of your promotion. Think about the life of Colonel Harlan Sanders. For most of his life, he failed at jobs, businesses, even at maintaining stability. But in his 60s, when most people were winding down, he refined a simple chicken recipe and began knocking on restaurant doors. Eventually, one yes turned into a multi-million-dollar franchise. That wasn't luck, it was divine timing. All those years of failure, preparation, all those doors slammed shut. Alignment. His breakthrough came when it would have the most impact, not just for him, but for the world. Do you feel it now? That internal shift, the sense that something is coming, even if you can't see it yet. Your spirit knows before your eyes do. That's how God prepares his chosen ones. He stirs your soul as a signal. Get ready. But right before elevation, expect distraction, expect strange resistance, expect unexpected challenges. Why? Because the enemy can sense breakthrough too. He tries to blind you with panic so you miss what heaven is unfolding. But pay attention, look closer. New people are entering your life, not by accident, but by assignment. These are destiny helpers, sent to open doors, speak life, confirm what your spirit already knows. The wealthy stranger who has appeared now, they are one of them. They are the evidence that what you've been waiting for is no longer a prayer. It's a reality, and you didn't have to force it. It found you. Remember the story of Susan Boyle. She was an unknown woman from a small village in Scotland, dismissed by many due to her appearance and background. But when she stepped onto a stage and sang, the world stopped. She had been overlooked for decades, but in one divinely orchestrated moment, everything changed. That moment was prepared long before she knew it. Her voice didn't become powerful overnight. It was just revealed at the right time. Just like yours, chosen one. Galatians 6:9 urges us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." You didn't give up. That's why the harvest is here. The stranger coming to elevate you is part of your reward, not for being perfect, but for being faithful, for staying kind in seasons of cruelty, for trusting God in seasons of silence, for standing firm when the ground beneath you shook. Now, listen carefully. When your breakthrough begins to manifest, it won't feel like magic. It will feel like alignment. Things will move quickly. What took others years may happen for you in days. Don't be surprised. Don't apologize. Just walk through the doors with humility and courage. This isn't just about you receiving a blessing. It's about you becoming who you were always meant to be. Think of the life of Brian Stevenson, the lawyer and founder of the Equal Justice Initiative. He spent years defending the poor, the wrongly convicted, the voiceless. For a long time his work was unseen. But then, a book, a film, a platform, all at once. Suddenly the world recognized what had been quietly cultivated. Your life may echo that same arc. The work you've done in the shadows is about to be celebrated in the light. Ecclesiastes 3:11 offers this divine assurance. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Not your time, not the world's time, His time, and that time for you, chosen one, is now. You are no longer waiting, you are walking into fulfillment. The stranger's appearance is not the beginning of your breakthrough, it is the confirmation that the breakthrough is already happening. So be alert, be thankful, be ready. Your moment has arrived. Chosen one, stepping into a higher dimension, is not merely a change of scenery, it's a transformation of the soul. Have you realized yet that this elevation you're experiencing isn't about geography? It's not just about going from one place to another. It's about becoming someone greater, someone more aligned with the version of you that God has always seen. It's a shift in frequency, in thought, in spirit. When God moves you, He doesn't just change your surroundings, He expands your vision, rewires your mindset, and brings clarity to your calling. But here's a truth many miss. Not everyone is ready for elevation. Could this be why some people plateau just before their breakthrough? How many have forfeited the future God had for them simply because they clung too tightly to the past? You see, it's easy to ask for a new season, but are you truly prepared to release the habits, the people, the environments, and the beliefs that no longer serve who you're becoming? God warns us in Isaiah 43:18-19, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing." If you're stepping into a new thing, chosen one, you must be willing to leave the old behind. Your elevation is spiritual before it ever becomes physical. And with that spiritual shift will come loss. Not everyone can follow you where you're going. Some will question the change, some will resist it, and some will quietly walk away. Let them. Their absence is part of your alignment. When Jesus began his public ministry, even those in his own town rejected him. Mark 6:4 tells us, "A prophet is not without honor except in his own town, among his relatives, and in his own home." This is not just history, it's prophecy. It's what happens when chosen ones rise. You may lose friends, you may be misunderstood, you may feel isolated, but all of it is preparation for the next level, because where you're going, you cannot carry the weight of people who don't recognize your worth. Think about Brené Brown, the researcher and storyteller whose vulnerability sparked a global movement. For years, she kept her work small, quiet, hidden, but when she stepped into authenticity and started speaking her truth publicly, everything changed. Not everyone celebrated her rise, some ridiculed it, but her willingness to let go of validation and walk in truth opened doors that transformed not only her life, but the lives of millions. Could it be that your authenticity is the very catalyst for the doors now swinging open in your life? This is your defining moment. Not tomorrow, not in 5 years. Now the shift you've been sensing is not a coincidence, it's confirmation. But are you really ready for it? Are you prepared to lead instead of follow? To be seen without shrinking? to hold yourself accountable when no one is watching. Comment below. What is one thing you are willing to leave behind to step into your next level? Don't make the mistake of carrying yesterday's mentality into tomorrow's mission. God is calling you to greater discipline, deeper discernment, and heightened responsibility. This elevation isn't just a reward, it's a role. You are being positioned to impact others, to activate your gift at a higher frequency, and to live a life that demands more from your spirit. With that will come resistance. Not everyone will understand why you've changed. Not everyone will celebrate your arrival. But remember, Noah looked crazy until it started raining. But 1 Corinthians 2:9 declares, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no human mind has conceived the things God has prepared for those who love Him." You're about to walk into rooms you never imagined, speak to people you never thought would listen, and carry influence in ways you never thought possible. But only if you step forward in full readiness, not clinging to the old, but embracing the new. Why you? Why did the wealthy stranger choose you when they could have chosen anyone else? Because you're authentic. While others were chasing wealth, performance, and applause, you chose truth, integrity, and purpose. You didn't beg for attention, you didn't manipulate outcomes. You simply stayed faithful to your path, and that's what made you magnetic. In a world addicted to image, your substance stood out. Think of Chadwick Boseman, who carried the weight of a global franchise and countless cultural expectations while silently fighting his own private battles. He remained authentic to his calling, never using his struggle as a way to seek sympathy. He lived with purpose, acted with excellence, and never strayed from the mission. That authenticity impacted the world in ways he never lived to fully witness. You too carry that rare presence, the kind that shifts atmospheres without needing a spotlight. The universe, or more accurately, the creator of the universe, rewards authenticity. Why? Because authenticity is the language of heaven. God doesn't anoint the mask, He anoints the real you. Psalm 24, 3-4 asks, "Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in His holy place? The one who has clean hands and a pure heart." That's you, chosen one. You're being elevated not because you performed well, but because you remained pure when no one else saw. This is why doors are opening that you never knocked on. This is why people with power are being drawn to you. Because when you walk in truth, you don't have to chase blessings. Blessings chase you. And this stranger, this destiny helper who's entered your life now, is not random. Their presence is divine proof that authenticity is currency in the spiritual economy. Have you ever experienced a moment when something powerful came to you simply because you remained true to who you are? That's not a memory, it's a pattern, and it's happening again. Comment below. Have you ever seen an opportunity come to you just because you stayed true to yourself? Think of the path of Joni Eareckson Tada, a woman who was paralyzed in a diving accident at 17. Despite immense physical limitations, she became a world-renowned author, artist, and speaker. Her influence didn't come from trying to be like everyone else. It came from staying authentic in her pain and faithful to her purpose. And that authenticity opened doors beyond what most able-bodied individuals could ever imagine. So now, chosen one, it's your turn. The shift is real. The door is open. The only question left is, are you ready to step into the higher dimension with nothing but your truth, your faith, and your integrity? Because the world is about to witness what happens when someone truly chosen decides to rise, unapologetically, authentically, and fully prepared. Chosen one. Have you noticed how things often get most chaotic right before a major breakthrough? Have you ever felt that just as you begin to sense something shifting in your favor, life suddenly becomes harder to navigate? Your emotions feel more fragile, your thoughts more restless, and unexpected obstacles seem to appear out of nowhere. That is not coincidence. That is the final test before the blessing. Yes, before every major elevation, there is a moment where your character, your stability, and your faith are stretched to their limit. It is in this space that most people break, not because they weren't called, but because they were caught off guard. They allowed fear to speak louder than faith. They let temporary emotion override eternal purpose. But you, chosen one, must see it for what it is, a trap designed to distract you at the finish line. Don't fall for it. You've come too far to let fear undo what faith has built. James 1:12 reminds us, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life." This test you're facing right now is not meant to crush you. It is meant to crown you. You're standing at the threshold of your next level. Don't look back. Don't second-guess yourself. Stand firm. But let's be honest, one of the hardest parts about being chosen is not fighting, not praying, not even waiting. One of the hardest parts is receiving. You've been trained by pain to expect to earn everything through struggle. You've gotten so used to carrying others that when someone steps in to carry you, it feels uncomfortable. Is that you, chosen one? Have you ever felt like blessing made you nervous, like it somehow didn't belong to you? Maybe you've asked quietly, why me? Why would someone choose to bless you, support you, relocate you, elevate you, when you didn't ask, didn't chase, didn't demand? But what if the better question is, why not you? You have poured into others. You have walked in integrity when no one was watching. You have given when you had little, believed when you had nothing, and stayed faithful when you felt forgotten. Why wouldn't God reward that? Deuteronomy 28:12 declares, "The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to bless all the work of your hands." That includes your silent work, your unseen prayers, your sacrificial love. Now that the heavens are opening, your only job is to receive. Don't block your own blessing with a mindset that was never yours to begin with. That unworthiness you feel, that's not humility, it's a lie. True humility says, I don't deserve it, but I will receive it anyway because I trust God's choice. This moment isn't just about you getting what you want. It's about God placing you where you can fulfill what you were born to do. Think of Viola Davis, who once said she grew up in abject poverty, wearing second-hand clothes and dealing with constant bullying. She didn't believe success was for her, but eventually she learned to receive not just roles, but recognition. And now she uses her platform to uplift others. Her elevation wasn't just for her, it became a bridge for many others to walk across. That's what's happening in your life, chosen one. Your elevation is a divine assignment, but first, you must protect your spirit from distraction. You may be tempted to react emotionally. You may feel like snapping back at someone who doesn't understand your journey. You may feel like questioning the timing, or worse, questioning yourself. Don't. That is the enemy trying to pull you out of position just before the promise. Remember Jesus in the wilderness for 40 days, just before launching his public ministry. Right at the edge of his breakthrough, he was tempted to compromise his identity and power, but he stayed grounded. Matthew 4:10 shows us his final response to temptation. "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." That moment of clarity came right before his elevation. Yours will too. Chosen one, elevation brings exposure, and exposure requires readiness. It's not just about receiving what's good, it's about managing what comes with it. People will misunderstand you. Some will envy you. Others will try to pull you back to the version of yourself they were comfortable with. You must be clear about your assignment. Your next season requires spiritual maturity. Think of Moni Davis, the first girl to earn a win and pitch a shutout in the Little League World Series. At just 13 years old, she handled massive media attention with grace and wisdom beyond her years. She didn't seek the spotlight, it found her, but she was prepared, not just to perform, but to represent something greater than herself. You too are representing something sacred. 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind." You have the authority to walk into this new season with strength. You have the right to receive help without guilt. And you have the spiritual clarity to recognize that this blessing is not just a reward, it is a tool. Your relocation, this elevation, this wealthy stranger stepping into your life, it is all connected to a larger purpose. You are a vessel. What you receive will overflow into others. What God does through you will stretch beyond you. Now is the time to release the old narrative that says you must struggle to prove your worth. You already proved it when you didn't quit. You already qualified when you remained faithful without applause. This is your season to receive. Stand in it. Own it. Do not reject what heaven has sent. Think of Tabitha Brown, who struggled for decades as an actress working behind the scenes, largely unnoticed. But one day, a simple, honest, heartfelt video went viral, and her life changed overnight. She wasn't chasing fame. She was just being authentic, and because she stayed grounded, the world found her. She didn't question the blessing, she embraced it. Now her story inspires millions. So here's your moment of truth. Will you embrace what's coming without apology? Will you allow yourself to be blessed without resistance? Will you finally stop asking if you deserve it and simply receive it? Because, chosen one, the blessing is already here. Don't let doubt be the only thing standing between you and your destiny. Beloved chosen one, now that you know what is happening, your next step is simple. Walk in faith. Do not doubt this blessing. Do not resist the elevation. Do not let fear keep you confined in a space you've already outgrown. A powerful and divine shift is unfolding in your life at this very moment. The wealthy stranger stepping in is not the source. They are the vessel. The true source is God, who has been orchestrating every detail behind the scenes. All you have to do is say yes. Your time has come, chosen one. Step into it, own it, receive it. If this message touched your heart, if it confirmed something your spirit has quietly known all along, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs this reminder today. There is power in awareness, and when we share truth, we awaken others who are also chosen. The journey becomes lighter when we walk it together. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and with this community. Your presence here is not just seen, it is deeply valued. Your growth, your comments, your silent agreement, it all matters. If you feel led to support this mission and help spread this message further, you can donate through Super Thanks. Every contribution, no matter the amount, helps us continue creating prophetic, soul-nourishing content for chosen ones all over the world. But whether you choose to donate or not, please know this: you are already a blessing. Your energy, your attention, your journey, it's all priceless. And I am truly, sincerely grateful for you. As you go forward from this moment, may divine clarity guide your every step. May doors open before you that no man can shut. May your authenticity attract favor beyond understanding. And may you never again question whether you were worthy. Because chosen one, you are called, equipped, and divinely protected. Until next time, stay awakened, stay aligned, and always remember, your best days are just beginning. With love, grace, and unshakable belief in your calling, blessings to you always.